Hello, Test That Affects traders. My friends have told me that I need to create a video to show how to trade pitchforks. This is the SEXY Pitchfork intersection strategy. It's how I flip accounts very easily and in very few number of trades, keeping proper risk management, 2% per trade. And you can look at my channel for videos like that. But I'm going to show you I've written down the exact rules I follow, and I'm going to present them now to you, and hopefully this helps you make amazing, profitable 4R trades. That's what we do. We trade 4R all the time. It's 4R or bust, sometimes more than 4R, but that's for advanced. That will not be in this video.
I can't talk. What do I do?
Those are advanced moves for experienced users. Okay, so here's the rules. So number one, trade with the pitchfork. If you have a green up facing pitchfork, I do not want you taking short trades. Number two, okay, this is called the sexy line touch. Enter trades when a sexy line is touched just outside the fib zone or any other line, really, as long as you get 3 lines together confirming. Okay, so for the sexy line touch, we are looking for price to come and touch either this zone and we'll go long, or this outer line and we'll go long. How can we know which line? Well, we turn on our other pitchforks. We have 2 sets of pitchforks, the Andrews and the modified shift pitchforks. You can search with either set of pitchforks, whichever you prefer. In a trending market, Andrews pitchforks work better. In a more of a ranging market, you'll find the modified shift work better. When in doubt, use the modified shift pitchforks. All right, anyway, so I'm going to turn on the other pitchforks, and right away we see here a big mess of lines here. When we have a big mess of lines, there's another rule. This is the empty space rule. It says trade the outermost line. There should be no more sexy lines to touch nearby. So here we would be looking for it to touch the outermost of these lines. So there's all these lines, we see that. So in real time we would be here and we see all this mess. I'm going to be looking at the lowest line. I want to see something happen on the very outside. And boom, right here, let's zoom in. And we see that happen right here where it goes up and it just grazes this line. That's what I'm looking for. And when it does that, then I'm ready to go long. If I see it just graze it, and this is very important because you can miss a lot of entries. So if I see it just graze it and this entry is very close here, it just didn't quite touch, but I can see it was trying to touch that and just missed touching the sexy line. At that point, I will enter when it comes back and touches this line here. And so that is your entry point. You're looking for 4R trades or bust in this case. So now we got our entry. We can turn off the mess of lines. And we will be targeting just above our median or center line and going for 4R trade. And you can often get away with much more than 4R. Here you can see I could have done an 8R trade and got away with it. But just to be safe, I find 4R is plenty and you win a ton with that. Basically, you can go just a little bit less. Maybe I went too far with this, but a little bit less than the width of this channel. You can go up here above the center line. That's typically where I like to target. And that's how you get yourself a quick and easy 4R trade. And this happens over and over and over again. Let's take a look at another example here. So here we see, let's look at our pitchforks. We see an upward facing pitchfork. This is the one we were already on. But then we see a new one forming here. And now we see they're on top of each other. So now we have a grouping of lines and the 200 EMA. So, I mean, this is like confirmation after confirmation after confirmation. And there's enough space. It's about halfway between here and here. That's okay. If it starts crowding this line, then I'm expecting it to touch this outer line. But I would take this trade, given that you see the 200 EMA here, and you have two different pitchforks on top of each other. We'll let it crash through everything until it's coming to white space. So we wouldn't stop here, for example, because we see it's really close to this line. But here we see a good amount of space at this point. And so this is our entry right here on this outer line. And we would set that up like this. Boom. Boom. And I don't know if I hit it quite right on, but you get the idea. Go a little bit above the center line. Set this at 4. 3.9 in this case, but 4 is what you're looking for. And there you go. And what I love about this is if it does come to retest in, say, 2 or 3 candles, this bottom, you see how we're using upward sloping pitchforks? So this is key. You always trade in the direction of the pitchfork. So the genius behind that is if it comes down to retest this outer line, and if it comes down, say, to here, it's by the time you get to here, you're not going to get stopped out if it touches this line and then takes off. So you get saved over and over and over again by that resistance line, that trend line. All right, so there's 2 great examples. Now let's take a look here. This one here, let's turn this on and see if this would be a trade. We would, right here, you see how this drops down? There's a bunch of lines here and a good amount of space. There is a good chance that you might get in on this trade and lose. But with that 200 EMA so close, there's always a strong possibility. Price just loves to reach out and touch sexy lines passing by. And the 200 EMA is one of the most beautiful lines to price. And so that's why I always keep it on my chart. It keeps me knowing what's going on and where I am. And yeah, this is a real tricky one here. I would say, you know, I might have taken a loss on this. But then again, I might have said, hey, I'm going to wait and see if it touches that 200 EMA and get in on that. But then I still wouldn't have traded because I would have saw this here. And unless I can get all this mess inside my stop zone, I would not trade. In general, this is probably a no trade for me, but I've been known to take a risk here or there, so who knows. But yeah, now let's take a look at this situation here. Let's see what happens here. So here we have an upward facing pitchfork. We see here that, look at this, we have a bunch of lines, okay? There is no place where we have white space. The only place where we have white space is here. See how there's no lines in here? So that makes for a great trade. So we want to let it crash through all these lines. If it takes off and we miss the trade, that's fine. But we don't want to trade, by the time we get to, say, here, you're saying, well, should I trade here? The answer would be no, because it's actually just as far from here to here as it was from there to there. There's no reason to think this thing's going to stop crashing through. So your entry would actually be right on the outside line here. Your targets for the outside line are just above this fib zone. You're always trading to the next zone, just above the next zone. And set that to 4R. Let's just see if there's one more possible trade here. In this case, we see a downward sloping pitchfork. And so we're looking for this to hit, go through 3 lines and touch the outer line. This actually technically would be a short trade right here without even adding the other confirmation lines, because we have it with the 2 pitchforks. This is actually a short trade right here. See those the outer lines both meet. So you've got 1, 2, 3 lines. So you would go short here. And you would be targeting just past your middle line. shorten this to 4R, and hopefully we make it, and we do. 4R, and we're good to go. It's a little tight with spread. We're on a 15-minute chart. If you were on a, I like to trade on an hour or 4-hour time frame, then this would be fine. This is a little tight. You do win technically here, but probably not with spread. So yeah, it depends what chart you're trading on, if that would be a win or a loss. If you have any questions, drop some comments below, and I will see if I can help you out. And join the Telegram channel. There's a Telegram chat where you can chat with me live and learn from me, and hopefully make a boatload of money doing what I've done. All right, see you on the trading floor.